It'll be fun. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome, Art Witch April, and welcome, Eris. Thank you for coming
Hi.
along with me. And welcome everyone who's already in the chats. It's lovely to see you. We're going to jump right in by just opening up the space for our session today, which is all about sacred space. So let's begin by creating some for ourselves. And we do this by dropping into the moment and acknowledging the land that we're on and the people that it belongs to. And I am on Wurundjeri country in the Kulin Nation. This land was never ceded. The people here are wise and magical. Their activism is strong. And I acknowledge their elders, past, present, and emerging. This land also borders on the Boonwurrung people as well, and so I'm leaning into both the Wurundjeri elders and the Boonwurrung elders and sending my love to them all, and thanks for this space and time to be here. Thank you.
Thanks, Faerie. And I'm here in Binjarabuja by the beautiful Wangamat Bilya, and I would like to honour the original custodians of the land, past, present, and future. So, for our sacred space today, we are going to begin. Secondly, after our acknowledgement, we're going to align our 3 cauldrons. So this is a grounding and alignment and centering practice that we do at the beginning of every ArtWitch chat in case you are new. So wherever you are sitting, I want you to take notice of where you are, really feel into your seat. Maybe you're sitting, maybe you're standing. Think about where the base of your body is. Maybe you have 2 feet on the floor. Maybe you have your legs crossed. Think about what it took for you to get here today, how you were feeling. Maybe you'd feel your heartbeat, all the blood coursing through your body. And breathing to your animal self, your fetch self, this body that you are in, your primal needs, and whatever your body is that it needs, honor that with a breath. And now we move up to the middle cauldron, which is our talking self, the self that engages with the community that we are in, the self that shares energy with others, whether it's through our talking or our creative expression or watching things on YouTube or writing or singing or chatting to loved ones. Whatever it is that you do to project yourself out into the world, this middle cauldron, take a breath for that one. And moving up to our top cauldron, which is situated in the crown of our head and just above this part of ourselves that connects with the divine, those celestial energies that come right through and talk to our bottom cauldron, our sacred dove, our higher self, our God self, that which is connected with everything. Take a breath for that one. And now thinking about our 3 souls aligned, we're going to take a breath up and send it upwards with a ha. Feeling lined up, frisky, alive, in tune. I feel ready.
Lovely. I would like us to now do the next part of what I love to do, setting up sacred space, and that is lighting our candle that is dedicated to Art Witchery.
Oh, yes, sorry. I need to get my lighter. I packed my other lighter in a little bag. So here I am.
Jumping lighter. Beautiful. All right. Here we go, everybody. That beautiful spark of creativity. Flame of creative fire. Making a space for us today, for this time.
Oh, I do need to get my match. This is not lighting.
Oh, no.
The slight pitfall of a USB electronic lighter.
I've never met one of them.
They're very handy, but you have to charge them every now and then. So, back to old school. There we go. I'm alive. My candle's alive. I'm here with you, Faerie. Hooray.
Hooray, the highlight of the week. Here we are in it.
We are in it.
We are in it. Welcome, everyone who's here. Franny says, hi there. Tech Coven says, hello. And Corrigan the Crone says, hello. Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. And everyone else who is here and perhaps not chatting yet, hello to you. So I'm just getting my notes. We are talking about sacred space today.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean in an art witchery practice, or what does that mean for you? I think it's a little bit about where do we art witch, but it's also maybe about how do we cultivate the energy of sacred space, because it's different to just a space or an art shed or a studio or your dining table. How does it become sacred? So, Eris, can you tell me how you turn a space sacred? No?
Well, there's so many different ways of interpreting this. I just had a little flashback to the first time I was able to create what I thought of as a space dedicated for making art, which was at uni. We were given a spot and it had white walls potentially, and we got to pick wherever we wanted in this complex of sheds. And I love that because ever since I was small, I've been quite even when I wasn't necessarily thinking of it as witchy, I've always been my moon is in my 4th house, okay? So I've always
been for us non-astrological folk.
So the 4th house is the home.
Yeah, and then your moon is also home.
Your center, your where you come to relax and those sorts of things. So I've always stuck things on walls. I've always had a dressing table, which has always been an altar, carefully curated perfume bottles and jewelry box and little ornaments and doilies, and then my bedside table would always be carefully curated. And these things, I've always found, if they were in good order, I was in good order in myself. So having an art making place, I was like, oh, goody, get to do the thing, which is not too far from the teenage notion of sticking pictures up on the wall, with the blue tack in the 4 corners. Here's a picture I really like. Here's someone who inspires me. Here's an intention. We were asked to stick up a proposal of what we were going to do with our studios, and that was an intention. So I found that to be quite a magical act, even though I wasn't thinking of it in that way at the time. Looking back, it was very linked to what I do now. So for me, this room I'm in now is, when we first moved in, it was right, this is going to be my art studio. But as it's evolved and my art practice has done this, it's very much been a sacred space. So I think of it as my witchy room. I love watching witchy room videos on YouTube where people take you around their witchy room and do a witchy room tour. I've got one on my channel if you want to go look at that. I just love those sorts of videos, and it's changing all the time. I'll move things around. I always make sure I vacuum. So yesterday I was feeling a bit out of sorts, so I cleaned my 2 main altars, which you can sort of see behind me. I've got one there and one there, and just taking everything off, wiping it down, putting everything back is really part of that, like cleansing and vacuuming the carpet. Got this rug here that I vacuum, and then I've got these trolleys, and they're like now have become their own little beings that are cultivated with a particular intention, and they sort of roll around the room. They've become like little servitor sort of type, these little beings, and I've named them so they live in the studio space now. And I do ritual in here. I make art in here. I make art all over the place. I've make art on the couch downstairs. I make a lot of art in here. I'm lying on the floor. I'm sitting right here where I am now. And for me, it's really important. Like, I can't make art if there's like all shit around me. Like, I need to clean the space. I need to order it and tidy it. And for me, that's enough to like help me settle and get into the right mindset. And I feel like mindset is a massive part of sacred space for me, like having all my ducks in a row. If I'm feeling uncomfortable in my body, it's really important that I sort that out before I do anything. And even like going further, pushing out the boundaries, if something's going on even outside this room, like something's happening in the garden, like there's rubbish everywhere, or there's like something going on in the balcony, or I know like in the room next door there's a cat tray full of cat shit, like I can't quite, so it's something that I don't always sit and go, right, magic time, but it's definitely something that I consider and curate, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
So what about you?
Sacred space. I am very fortunate to have this space that we're in right now that is my art room. And I feel that every room in the house has an altar in it, and an intention for that room. It's like the witch's house rather than just like one room. And I think that's because I work with a lot of house spirits, I guess, and just the way that I like to roll in the world, because my home is my sanctuary. And so creating it though in the art room is really nice as well, like having the space to set up. So I've got altars in here dedicated to different aspects of work. So there'll be the creatures, spirits, deities that I work with within the different traditions that I am initiated in. Then there's the mysterious fae creatures. And then there's like things I want, like I'm currently working towards that idea of the thriving artist rather than starving artist. And so there's a spot just for that energy to be amplified. Then it might be, okay, I'm working on this new project that feels much bigger than me and frightening. And so there's a space dedicated for manifesting that. So I've got like copper cauldrons around the place full of bits, and they sit in little spots with plants. And maybe anyone else would come through. And I have had people who I had a Christian guy come through and he was like, oh, it's a lot of bric-a-brac, and that's great. But I know that it is everything is it just so. So I probably could look like a bit of an occult bric-a-brac hoarder. But it is all just so. And I also have that thing like it needs to be clean. There's a cleaning practice involved. And that's been asked of even by the hearth spirits themselves. I think some particular fae families do like cleanliness in the home. Like there's a link between like dusty, dirty things and like ugh feelings as well for me. I like the idea of that intention and mindset before creating as well. And so I do have lots of affirmative statements around the place to get me in the right spot, because my critic can be really noisy and interrupting. And so I just wrangle them by having something next to me that reminds me that to trust that intuitive voice rather than their nagging nonsense. Yeah, I like that word ambience as well, like creating that. As is like, what is the ambience? Oh, it's our incense. This sets this apart from mundane Coles life or going to the post office or whatever. Like it's the candle that's lit. It's making sure those, like I do the energy cleansing as well as the physical cleansing, and knowing that that is different to that other world. I guess it starts parting the doorways to where creativity lives and comes from, maybe. Yeah, it's a never ending. Like I think the way that we set up places and even like moving things around, and you figure it out and you're like, I feel like it's all still a work in progress, but I guess it's because we're life in progress too. And so it changes all the time. And I love that feeling when you do shift a bit of furniture and this like big gust of like, wee comes out of the corner. You're like, oh, I didn't even know you were trapped in there. So funny. Oh, we got this chair. There's a chair behind me whose name is Arthur. He came with the name Arthur and he came with the Frida Kahlo cushion. And I've always wanted an armchair in my art room to be able to sit and ponder. And I like getting like that distant view of the thing. And I feel just even having Arthur in the room has added another level of sacred space. Like here, this is a chair where all you do is have tea and rest. That's beautiful.
Yes. Something you said reminded me. I've been reading, like doing work with ancestors has been a slow trickle for me. But something I was reminded of recently is one of the best things you can do for your blood ancestors to please their spirit, I guess, is to clean. Because for some of our matriarchal lines, this idea of like being house proud and cleaning the home, this is something that I think our generation doesn't value as much, but you know, previous generations, it's like a cleanliness is next to godliness. This idea of having cleaning your bathroom sink or your kitchen sink, or cleaning your carpet or wiping, dusting, things like that is ancestor work as well. Yeah. Potentially, depending on your practice, of course. So we've got our pals in the chat, couple saying that they both found me through my witchy room tour, which, wow, that's really cool. I feel weird about that video, I've got to say. Maybe we could talk about like this idea of, because every now and then I'm like, oh, have I shown too much? Because that sometimes it's a bone of contention, this idea of taking photos of altars or like sacred spaces and sharing them on social media, how appropriate or inappropriate that is. And I don't like share everything. Like my altars are changing all the time and morphing and growing, and it doesn't always feel appropriate to share, but sometimes it does. I just feel like I really want to post this or film a video or something like that. Like some of my favorite YouTubers, like, and I think, what would insert person's name do? And if the answer is they would just do it, and I'll be like, well, I'm going to do it. Bit of a weird one for me. I don't know. What's your opinion about posting like altar pictures or sacred spaces online?
Just do it. I don't know who these witch police are. They are constantly like getting in the way. Like, our inner critic. I know that I sometimes have fear because people can use photos maliciously. So you have a really good protective practice in place so that any of that psychological fear or worry or actual maliciousness doesn't touch you, like, and can be grounded through positioning of little tricks within the photo. That's a handy hint for people who it's fear-based where it comes from sometimes. Sometimes my things I don't want to photograph is because I don't know what they are yet. And they are still brewing. And perhaps they're for a creature who is shy. Like if I've got some fairy houses set up around the place. That's their house. And whenever I love them and I want to photograph and share them, when I'm like, oh, I need to do the algorithm thing and post a photo a day and I haven't shared this beauty, like I could share this. And every time I go near it with the camera, it's like, no. I'm like, oh, that's odd. And then I have another, but it's not really odd, is it? And then I've got another spot in the house where it's for the inner child. And that's such a vulnerable, precious part of me. I don't want that open for any scrutiny. Like I'd have to be in a little paid Patreon tier for anyone to see that, or like my friends can come and see it, but I don't want to put that out to the big giant world because it's very precious. And I think that might be the key to why people are funny, perhaps sharing the altar and the sacred space, because it is so precious. And people in their damn comments, especially in social media, like people just, there is a culture of pulling everything down and critiquing it or whatever just because it's come along your feed, as if you own it then to comment upon it, forgetting that it's actually someone's very, very special heart on offer, basically. Like I really do feel like that altar is the heart externalized, and that's a vulnerable thing, to like rip open your rib cage and offer it up to the gram.
Definitely.
But sometimes it, yes, I do want to share this. Like I feel like Bridget asks me all the time, share, show this beauty, encourage people to come and find us, encourage this. And some of my fae creatures are as well. They're like, get them to come and see us and remember us and talk to us. And then others are like, nah, fuck off. Like, the dance.
Yes, because not all spirits are the same, and just like humans. Like some people are like, great, come to my house, like come over, let's watch Netflix, have a barbecue, whatever. And other people are like, please don't visit me ever.
This is not a welcome sign on my doormat.
Some people are either, depending on their mood. So I guess it could be the same thing with our spiritual practice. And yeah, I really like what you mentioned about cultivating an Art Witch altar. I think this was something we chatted about yesterday quickly, and I think I mentioned it in my post in our Facebook group. So I decided to make an altar for this space of Art Witchery because I've got a lot going on at the moment, and it feels like really crunchy for me as far as like putting my art out there in the world. So I thought I'm going to like cultivate an altar that's just for this work, where I can hold space for that and all the crunchiness and all the awkward feelings and my intentions and all these things weaving together, and just honor that with a dedicated like spot for that. So sometimes I think it can be great, like inner work or self-healing work. It doesn't always have to be about deities or spirits. It could be just about crafting a space for yourself. And I think that's what the dressing table was sort of like about. Like it's funny because one of the tools that we do in reclaiming sometimes, and I'm not quite sure where it comes from, is this thing of mirror gazing, where you can find it quite confronting. So it's part of like a daily practice, for example, where you get a mirror and you're looking in the mirror for an extended period of time. I did this all the time when I was 3 years old, sitting in front of, I was fascinated with my own face. And now, God, I find that so hard. I get really bored. I'm just like, I know what I look like. Why do I need to sit here? Like, I don't want to be here. Like, resist. So it's really interesting. So I put a mirror on my self altar to sort of, as a reminder of, this is you're out here, here's your face. And this idea also of like sending energy outwards as well, and having that portal mirror work can be really interesting and a really fabulous little magical tool. So I've
got a mirror on my there, but I hope you can see it there. And I use it as a if you think about the story Alice, the mirror is the doorway into Wonderland, one of the many doorways and portals. And I feel like Wonderland is another part of this Fae realm that we can hang out in. And so it is, yes, it will reflect back you. And that's that idea of portraiture and self-portraiture and how magnificent, healing, confronting and strange that practice is. But also it's a doorway in. And sometimes I feel a spell can be like you're looking into the mirror self, and what you see reflected, like you can do a thing and watch yourself do it through the mirror rather than watching your hands do it here. And there's something curious that goes on when we play with that mirror thing. Very interesting. So interesting. Yes, it is. I do like having one in there on the altar. I always have had one, and also always as a child did that strange eye gazing and would watch. It's funny, if you stare at your eyes long enough, like your face will even start changing shape. Like it's just such a practice.
Yeah, it's strange the tricks that your eyes can play on yourself.
Yeah. I think that's all part of that ecstatic magic practice, because it's taking you out of this mundane phase of like, oh, there's my face, move on. It's like, oh, but is it? Love it. Good fun.
I keep thinking of Zoolander. That who am I? And I'm like, oh God, what am I doing? Like, but on the ArtWitch bingo card, I'm pretty sure Christine McConnell's on there. So she's just put her old house up for sale, and what I really liked about her old house. Pardon?
Can we buy it?
You can. If you have $329,000 US, you can go buy her house in Twin Peaks, California.
Oh, wow. Oh no, Eris, you have frozen. Oh dear. Okay. This is not good. Do. Oh, Eris, where are you? I hope it's not. What do we do? What do we do? Do. I'm just going to message Eris and find out what's going on. Please bear with us. We'll take you to an ad break. Shit. Yay, it's the fairy show. Shivers. I'm just going to find out what happened to Eris. I think, okay, they've said they're restarting. They're going to come back. All right, we'll just take a little minute to be here now. I'll just take you around my little room so you can see my altar behind me. I'm not singing, Branny. Stop it. I've got my head in the dang way. I've got a lamp in the way here. There's my shelving behind me. It's got books and all the storage, planties. That's my mending pile. Wow. There's my inner child house. And then over here behind the lamp is the painting corner. Works in progress. And then right next to me, which I can't swivel the computer around, is corn husks drying and lots of indoor plants. And here we go this way as well. So we got fairies in progress. And there's affirmations and art, and I look out into my garden. Oh, there you go. That's my art studio. It's actually like the family room of a house. Oh, Eris is here. Hooray! Can we let her in? Yes. Okay, I'll let you in. I just took everyone on a tour. No, it's okay. I was like, oh, this is going to be so awkward. I wish we could and we're just clearing over to an ad break. We need production team, Eris. Let's get funding.
It's because even though we have fiber to the home NBN here, my computer uses a wireless connection to the modem downstairs, and sometimes it's a bit slow, and I don't know why. I'm really sorry. I'll try and connect it.
Oh, no. Babe, you're gone.
I'm still here. I'm still here. I just changed it to 5G, so maybe it will work better now. I don't think so. I think it will drop out easier. I don't know. Anyway, do another tour of another spot if I drop out again.
Sure. It's all good. We'll do our best.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
I'll grab it on anyway.
That's what we're doing. It's an ArtWitch chat. So one thing we were going to do, some people are not, don't have the a whole space to ArtWitch in. And they may just have like a dining table, or they might be saying, well, it's all right for you with your whole room, but I don't have anywhere I can do it due to whatever their living arrangement may be. And so we thought we would put together a sacred space within a bag, a portable sacred space, and offer that up, that you don't need a whole room to ArtWitch in. And you might go on holiday one day, or you might, who can go on holiday anymore? But you might go traveling in your car.
Staycation?
A staycation. You might.
I'm staycationing right now in my home.
Oh, poor WA. But yes, anyway, I don't feel that all the stuff around me, as beautiful as it all is, as much as I love it, most of it is not essential. It is just because it is sparking joy and inspiration. And I love it, don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful for it. But the essentials for art witching, I'm pretty sure we can fit. Look, here's my daggy bag.
That's my bag.
Whee! All right, so we're going to, how are we going to do this? I'm excited.
Why don't you go first and share what's in your bag? What's in your
Should we do one thing at a time? You want to do the whole bag? All right.
Do the whole bag. Do the whole bag.
All right. Now, I'm going to be honest here and say that I may have brought up this idea last night to get organised, but I did forget to do it. And so this was done in 10 minutes this morning, just proving that you can art witch very quickly. Like, quick, just shove some things in. Last minute holiday. All right. So I have got trusty journal. Can't leave home without that. Lovely. I have got, this is probably non-essential, but I was putting it in anyway. I got a little spell book for art witching. This was given to me. My mother-in-law found it years ago, and it's actually gorgeous. So I was like, that's very cute and inspiring. Put that in there. I've got Mythic Muse, the sacred space spray for creativity from beautiful Tinderbox, who are in WA, and I think I've actually added water in here because I haven't lived in WA for that many years. It ran out, but I still just adore it. And it even has a very cute saying on the side that I'm like, oh.
Oh, I love Tinderbox stuff.
Me too. Me too. I've
I'll
got
my... Just a refill to you. I guess they don't sell it over there.
No, they don't. I could go. They sell online. Like, I could get it shipped here, really, couldn't I?
Maybe.
I've got a spirit doll. So this is one that I've made in my last spirit doll workshop, and this is my dandelion, and he is for my courage and to go out in the world and be brave and do my thing. So that's definitely portable art witching. I've got my watercolor pack and my trusty little paintbrush pen that has the water already in it, which is so good for traveling. Oh my goodness. Thank goodness for whoever made these. I've got them in 3 different little nibs.
I still haven't used these or have one or anything. I've just never managed to try them out.
So about 3 years ago, I went to the UK with the lovely Branny, who's in our chats here, and we went on a witchy tour of sacred sites around England. And I had my own Art Witch backpack that I took, so I thought I'm going to be in all these sacred sites and want to be drawing and doing magical things. So beautiful Ray got me a set of these so I could take my portable pack along with me. We also had to get a waterproof bag because England is permanently rainy. It was very good. I've got my set of watercolor pencils. I've got some Palo Santo because this is an ethically sourced Palo Santo from Elfin. And this makes me feel like blessing and just if you want some other good lovelies. And I've got a tea light because, well, you just need to worry about your fire hazards when you're out. I would put a tea light holder in here too, but I couldn't find it. So you have a little jar that you could put that in and set that up with you wherever you are. Maybe a little coffee table. And then I've got pencil, a couple of pencils. Don't know why. This is like a little Mab Graves Draft-O-Matic pencil, which is very cute.
Oh.
Oh, so cute. And then I've got some things I would do for offering. So often when I'm out and about in the world, there might be plants or moss or things I want to gather, but I can't do that without offering something in exchange. So it needs to be something biodegradable and but something valuable. And so I've got these beautiful big acorns, and I've done the Faerie rune on them, which is a prosperity rune if you're going to be really basic about your runes. But I would offer that at the base of, say, recently there's hawthorns are in berry, like their berries have come out, and I would like some. I would go and offer that. Yeah, or collect moss and offer a little acorn in exchange. And that is my 10-minute Art Witch backpack. I don't know, I feel like it's not good enough. But you could certainly Art Witch with what I just pulled out.
That is wonderful, and I think we could talk about not good enough. Do you know, like later, maybe?
Could we please? I think I need to like sit in therapy for the rest of my life to deal with bloody not good enough. Anyway.
Okay, so I quickly shoved a second sketchbook in, so I've got two sketchbooks, and the good thing about this one is I feel like the front page doubles as an altar sort of spot, because it's got the Hecate like dedication there, and different pages could have different intentions set out. So there's paper is so valuable. Matches.
I didn't know the lighter.
I'm a fire baby. A candle for the lid.
I like that.
Very important. I stole this from my altar there just before we started filming, but I think the lid is really good in case you have to leave in a hurry and you need to quickly hold the wax. A scarf. My partner likes to call these the hag rag, because I always have one of these or two of these or four of these when I'm traveling, and I bought this in London, so it's got lots of lovely traveling by myself memories. But the good thing about this is it can be like laid on the ground or on a table as like an altar cloth. You could have it like as a veil if you're doing something.
I love that. Yes.
It's a scarf to protect from the sun if you're going for a walk, but it's too hot for a cardigan, but you don't want to get burned. So you like sort of, I have it like, I walk around when we're traveling often like this. Because it's too hot for, like, I don't have a hat or something because I'm not prepared, but I do have my hag rag, so this is just like the best thing, and it's a nice warm scarf as well if you like bundle it up. And I like to put essential oils in it, so it's got like a bit of magic in it or whatever. So this is one of my many
when I go out with essential oils on it, because I get like sensory overwhelm with like funny smells out in the world when I'm out and about, especially traveling, but even just wandering around Melbourne. So the essential oils is the absolute winner, especially if you make a grounding blend. Magic.
And it's just great to, like, if you've got a few of them and you're staying in like a little cheap hotel or something, they usually don't look very, very nice. And being able to drape this over like the TV or like the bedside table or something, then you've got an instant altar there, which can be really grounding. If you have your candle there, bang, it's an altar. Like candles instantly turn anything into an altar. I've got my tarot cards. That's essential for me. Pencil case that I don't have any wet mediums, it's all dry, so it's like there's lots of pens in there, colored fine liners, pencils, an eraser, a few textures, just like basic sort of thing. And what else? A piece of tiger eye because tiger eye, and washi tape, which should go in the pencil case really, so if I need to like stick anything into my journal, I can do that. really essential if I'm walking around. A keep cup, which can be good for like water offerings or as a water vessel for your altar, or if you do want to do watercolor, you've got somewhere to put your water. So just really handy. It makes the bag a lot heavier and annoying, but and a little bowl. And Branny gave me this little bowl.
That's so cute.
And that's lovely to put on a little travel altar too. And it just feels nice to hold in your hand and rub your thumb in it. Like, I don't know if that's the purpose of the bowl.
Obsidian or jet or something?
I think it's just ceramic.
Really?
I'm not actually sure. Maybe Branny can shed light on this bowl.
I think it's like an obsidian or something, because I've got one like that made of labradorite in the same sort of shape.
Well, when I hold it up to the light, it is a little see-through.
Yeah, I think you've got a little spraying bowl.
Yeah. So how cute is that for? It's a crystal bowl. Oh, so it might be obsidian or something. I didn't know that. I didn't know it was see-through until now. Wow.
It's just leveled up.
Jeez, Branny, he's sending me on a journey of discovery. So that's my and I guess this bag is flat, so that could be used as an altar too. Like you could chuck that on the grass, and like if you're doing tarot readings and you're using your hag rag for something else, like that could be a spot to like make a quick little altar. So I like these sorts of bags that are like the flat cloth, and I've had this one for many years. My sister gave it to me maybe 10, 15 years ago. So yay, that's my traveling sacred space.
I love it.
Yeah.
Off we go.
Off we go. I could easily do like an inspirational algorithm-loving flat lay for Insta with those. It doesn't look like it's a pile of junk that's in front of me, but I think we both could like do that. Maybe we'll do it for the group, for the Facebook
I like
group.
that. Yeah.
We'll chuck it in the stories on Instagram or something. I'll just re-chuck everything into the bag. Sometimes never to be seen again. I'll be like, where's my journal? I haven't been able to find it for like 3 months. And then I'll be like, find this bag shoved somewhere. Oh, that's right.
All right. Well, maybe I think everyone in the chats today, I'm pretty sure I've seen them all over in the Facebook circle. So maybe we could even offer out to everyone, maybe do their own, like, what's your portable Art Witch altar look like? Let's do flat lay photos in the Facebook group.
I'm not sure Corrigan is. I don't know if Corrigan has Facebook, and I'm not sure about Tech Coven, but the others are.
But maybe Corrigan might want to do a photo on the gram, because I have seen them sharing beautiful things on the gram.
Corrigan's gram game is strong, so
very strong. Very. The force is with them.
Very inspirational altar space pics. I haven't done my space post for this week yet, so who knows what I'll do.
I did one of me in beautiful Elfame on Friday, and our beautiful Anhaga Say, Lisa, who's here in the chats, came and saw me, which was just like crazy to get to meet someone who's here taking part in Art Witch April, doing like hear one of like our little friends coming along, and then getting to meet them for real, like someone that you just know online, meeting for real that's a treat. So that was very special. So I got a photo of that day, but I haven't done a photo of here. So
I love witchy stores, and I can't wait to visit Elfame. It's so magical in Melbourne, going up into the hills. I'm just like hanging out to come visit you, so I can go look at stuff.
Come hang with me. Come hang with me. Oh, it's so good. We've got a spare bedroom. It's got your name on it.
Soon, as soon as this COVID thing racks off.
Honestly. So, do we have anything else we want to share? Oh, yes. Okay, I'm thinking maybe in the last little chapter of this, we can talk about a segue of sacred spaces and altars and shrines into a reminder that our next video is not going to be on Sunday. We're going to do the wrap-up party for Art Witch April on Friday evening, and we'll do it here but it will be on your channel.
Yes.
And then I'm thinking, because it's an art along, and what we've got is this beautiful chat going with our friends here, but what could be cool is if people are sharing photos of their arting along, and they can use that ArtWitchApril hashtag, and they can either do it in our little circle or on Insta stories or however they want to do it, or just send them to us. I don't know if you can send photos through here. Who knows how we figure it out, but it would be lovely if I'd love to see what other people make as well. Be so good. And maybe we should talk more about this, these shrines and altars and what we're going to be doing with them. So it's here that it is Samhain, Beltane, depending on where you are in our beautiful earth. And it's basically a time, it's a portal time. It's a time where the other world is very close to this world. Some people say the veils are thin, which is funny because veils are thin.
Yeah. You're right.
But
water is wet. The earth is on the ground. The veils are thin. The sky is up.
Whoa! But what we could say is that it's a time where like portals between other worlds open, and whether it's a time of Samhain or Beltane, that is the truth of the space. And it's really, and I still feel that Samhain and our ancestors and the dead, that is the other world, and it is the land of fairies. And so, and that's the same in that Beltane space. And I feel the pull of both because the earth is doing both. So wherever you are in the world, we're going to create a portal to this time. And it might be that you want to create a shrine or an altar to an art witch energy. It might be to yourself as an art witch. It might be to the great creator spirit of whomever that is to you. It might be to a particular art witch that has passed along into the ethers. Should we do bingo and list some off? You know who they are. But so it doesn't have to be to someone in particular, but basically it's going to be like a little spirit house to that idea of a portal. Have I missed anything out, Eris? Would you add something in there? So
no. I guess if you want to witch along with us, you need to have your bits and pieces prepared. And with you ready to go. But you can come back to the video and watch it at any time. We're doing it Friday night, or Friday afternoon, but you can do it any time. And it's fine, whatever it is that you choose to do. I think I might start preparing mine today or tomorrow, depending on like my mood. But I've got all these little pictures ready to go, all cut out. So just got these little bits and pieces. So I'm going to pick one or two and start having a bit of a play and seeing like how that could happen, and what surfaces work or don't work. And there's no wrong or right way to do it. It's just,
we do have that Pinterest board full of all the inspiration, which shows you on there that there really is no one way to do this. This is just a joyous collage.
Yeah, and you can just chuck like altars or mini shrines or whatever into whatever your search is. I'm going to chuck it in the chat quickly, the link. So I'll just shut that again so my internet doesn't freak out from doing two things at once. So yeah, I hope you could see that. Corrigan's finished theirs. Oh, you could do more. Corrigan has already had quite a few and they look really cool. And I reset my altar again yesterday, I already mentioned, but I've got spaces on there thinking about these little shrines that I'm going to have. And we're also hosting Samhain at my house next week. So that space will probably shift to downstairs and be, everywhere. I love seeing all these little faces peeking out at me at this time of year. And I think Southern Hemisphere people are really aware of like this idea of a wheel and what happens, my hands are orange because I've got a story why, but it doesn't matter. So anyway, yeah, this idea of like these energies we're really used to that manipulating that. So join us with that sensation. Maybe you can have a Heltane if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, like we always do when, you know, it's October, November here. So, yeah.
Pandora's saying, I'm trying to think of what to do or use in the art along. They've got plenty of stuff around the house. And so, but I would just say to start off with, what I've got here is like a frame, an old frame. You can pick them up for like 50 cents at the auction. And then you could in there place like an old photo or a printout or something, and then just decorate. You could decorate the frame. You could even then get a little piece of balsa wood and glue it to the bottom of the frame, and that could be where like a little tea light could sit. We do have to be careful of fire hazards around our little creations, but it can be as simple as that, like just decorate a frame with things that are going to honor whatever is inside that frame.
Yes, it could be really simple. Like I don't have any frames just at the moment, but I've got lots of this, you know, when you've got a sketchbook and the end of it, that straw board that's at the back, I'm going to cut that in half or maybe even into quarters so I can get 4 out of 1. And then have the thick piece of card that's at the front of the sketchbook. I'm going to cut that out as a frame. So I'll stick the photo. This is my beautiful doggy Bella. I'll stick the photo on the back, cut the card out, and cut the hole in the card to make the frame. Whatever, it could be round, it could be a heart, it could be a rectangle, and stick that on top and then paint and decorate that cardboard. And then because that is a stiff bit of cardboard, I could then add a little like tab at the back so that it can like lean up against something and stand up just like with a bit of hot glue, or maybe you could just lean up against on a shelf. Like if you've got a shelf, you can just like have it sitting there as just like this nice solid little thing. So I think that's what I plan to do with mine. But it's funny, when I got this out, not related to what we're talking about right now, but I found this artwork that I did, which is like a portable sacred space. So if you don't have, let's say you got kids, right, and they touch everything, and you can't even have an art supply or a bottle or anything out because I will just take it and whisk it away. You could just take this out, and that could be your sacred space. And you'd have like, I've got the 4 elements on there. I've got a deck on there because I made this for something that I'm not using it for anymore. So now I've just got this weird illustration like floating around. But that's another option. You could create a sacred space in an artwork and go, right, I'm going to do witchcraft, get out your sacred space and stick it up and go, right, I'm ready to go. I've got everything going on. So my sister, she was exploring things when she had 2 little toddlers, and they were obsessed with like candles, bottles, anything pretty, shiny. They were into it. So she was just like, it's just the kids' altar now. I can't even. So I've heard of some parents doing things on top of a fridge, but then eventually the kids learn to drag a chair and get up there. Like if they know there's something cool up there, they'll find a way. So that could be another option. And I guess the last option is a astral temple or your mind palace or your a place inside your head that you've cultivated that you go to when you meditate, if you can if that's in your practice, if that's something that you want to do. Pandora says LED tea lights, baby. Yeah, they're really good, like for so many reasons. Children reasons, but also going out and let's say you're out in a park and you want fire. You just want the ambiance. The tea light candle, you know what? It does the job. It's pretty neat. Corrigan says, I used a cheap bamboo tray from a discount shop for mine. I think it was $3. Yes. And if your city is not in lockdown and all generic retail isn't shut, you could go do that.
This isn't bitter.
It's fine. It's fine. Hopefully we're open next week and everything's back to normal, but we'll see.
Yeah, keep us posted on that. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Well,
yeah, here we are.
Here we are, sacred space. So
yeah, it's good. And it's nice even just to rest in sacred space sometimes. And that can be a beautiful thing to inspire artwork, like just having a really little minute of daydreamy goodness to feed yourself, feed this practice, get inspiration to come through.
Here's a question for just a frequently asked question, because I see this asked a lot. Do you always create space in a magical way, cast circle, call in elements, call in spirits when you make art or when you do magic?
I don't cast circles or call in elements when I do any magic other than magic with other people, because it's written into their tradition. So in community rituals, I will do all of that practice. But by myself, I certainly go and introduce myself to a space and sit and feel whether it's appropriate to be doing magic in there, and have a feel about what's going on with the local spirits and the green people who I'm usually working with. And then I get to work. So not really. I will sometimes, like if I'm wanting a feeling of protection, I might like put the witch fire around me, or I'll put myself in a bubble, or I might throw out a compass, like a crossroads, out to feel out that space. But I guess because most of my witchcrafting I'm doing is at home, and there's a regular practice of that perimeter walking and that perimeter casting, creating, like that is ongoing. So I don't feel that I need to, it's just no feeling. I do have a thing where I'll get that crown chakra and I'll pull that up over myself and my works. I feel like that's the God soul then taking over, so I can step back and get out of the way easier and listen to the intuition rather than my incessant nagging critic. And that really does help for me. And then remembering to lift it back up afterwards, because it is quite draining to go about mundane tasks with that down around you. It's really weird. It's like, ugh. But yeah, I'm not really I definitely like candles are lit every time. Incense is lit every time. Gods, deities, spirits are prayed to every time. The alignment is done every day, but I'm not a element calling, circle casting person. No.
I guess it's that ceremonial / Wiccan idea. It's not necessarily there because that's not your practice. It's more of a intuitive thing.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, no. I only started doing circle casting and element calling when I joined a neo Wiccan group, like a whatever Scottish was. Like what genre were we? I don't know.
Eclectic.
So when I joined that, that's when that came in as a thing. But before that, I was like, there's setting the candle and sitting at the altar. That is already signaling to the gods that the work is about to begin, and that was enough. Because there's a cleansing practice already happening and a protective practice happening. Sometimes at school I would like put the big chalk circle around myself so I could eat my lunch in peace, which that's how you make friends.
Yeah.
So there was definitely a knowledge that circles are a thing, but I don't find use for them outside of other people telling me I should. Yeah.
I find it like, well, for me, I don't, because I do it sometimes, often, very often, but not every day. And because I do it so much in here, it's almost like there's like a permacircle set up, and it doesn't feel necessary. And as far as my personal protective shields, they're really pretty strong, so it doesn't feel necessary for me. But I also think it's a bit weird, like to just go somewhere like a park and then suddenly put up a circle without like stopping for a minute first and listening to what's actually going on in that space. It might not always be appropriate to just like take all your gazebo, your magical gazebo, and erect it just anywhere, you know. I think it's courteous to listen and
well, at Sal's, I went to Sal Lavalley's, who's Bogong Moth Art, and they did a workshop called Sacred Round on Stolen Ground. And so as an Indigenous person, they said, don't be going out into the world and doing magic without asking first, because this land is so ancient. There are spirits everywhere, and you've got to ask. You don't go to someone's house and start watching TV and eating the biscuits. You know? And that made a lot of sense why it would be important, like why perhaps I'm not going around chucking circles up everywhere, and why the intuitive, like doing the dropped and open walking when I am out in nature, that seems to be enough, because you get a feel like, is it welcome for, like, does this feel good being here? Yep, okay, good. Then I will press this. And if you get the feeling like, then get the flip out of there.
Yeah. One thing, because I did the online version of the workshop last week, and one thing they said that I think was really important was, don't just ask once, ask 3 times. And then you can make sure that it's not your ego going, yep, it's fine, I asked, I got permission. And it's like, well, did you really listen? Did you really give yourself the opportunity? And I really like that analogy of like just going into someone's house and putting Netflix on and eating tea and biscuits, because there should be levels to that relationship. There's first like meeting that person, and then you might know someone and you might be like colleagues or acquaintances, but you might not be on the like come to my house level. And then once you get to that knock on the door and visit, they might offer you a cup of tea, or you might say, hey, I'm really thirsty, could I get a drink? Oh yeah, sure, like take what, you know, mi casa su casa sort of thing. And then even then, when you put the Netflix on, you might not just chuck on anything that you feel like. You might agree with you, like, what are we watching tonight? Is it The Crown? Is it Outlander? Is it Star Trek? What are we doing here? So
wow. Your analogies really are wild, aren't they?
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's cool. It's so true though, because even it's about when you are going and asking permission, you are saying like who you are, why are you there, and what type of ritual are you doing, because that space might not want a protective spell. It's like when people come to your door to sell their religion to you, you will no thank you. So don't do the same thing to a native, like a natural space. Like they're like, no thank you. We do not need you doing that here. It's so funny. But that's sacred space too, isn't it? Like you've got to be really aware of where are you? Where are you and why are you doing that there?
Yeah.
Because the land is already sacred. So sacred. But it's about taking it from the mundanity, the usage, to step it up a level, I suppose. Or out a level.
Yeah. I once watched a video of someone who was like, come on a nature walk with me, let's get a nature haul. And they were like raking the leaves off the ground and stuffing them into their bag to take home to put on their altar. And I was just like, like it just felt like nature isn't your Kmart, like your aesthetic. I was just horrified by that. Like it got to me and I thought, why does that bother me so much? And I just thought, like, this is something like if I took a leaf, this would be like a leaf, a leaf. Could this be my leaf? And then it's like, well, why do you need to take this leaf? Like, leave it. The leaf. This is the leaf song. Leaf the leaf. So it's so contextual. Like, there's a difference between like an oak leaf from a park that's not native, and like the park has been planted. It's not you know, they're not trees that would normally be growing there, and going to like a national park or a protected area or a sacred place and just going, oh yes,
you don't touch nothing.
And how many stories have we heard about people taking rocks from the land and getting all these negative impacts energetically because they have, it's just nasty. And so the only way to fix this issues that you get is like take that rock and take it back. Like get the car, drive 4,000 kilometers and put that rock back, because not a good idea.
Yeah. Big time. Interesting. Well, here we are, sacred space. It's Art Witch April, and we're coming up to our very final 5 days. And I am so grateful for everyone who is here, everyone who comes along to the chats, for my beautiful Eris for agreeing to jump on this ride with me. Thank you, darling. So good. And I'm very excited for our finale, Art Witching in Action. How wondrous. In the meantime, though, let's do little flat lay photos for the Art Witch algorithm. Let's make the algorithm love Art Witchery. And what would you put in your essential Art Witch pack? And let's do a little, I love that idea that Eris had to do a little flat lay photo. So if you are inspired and want to do that too, please do. And we'll check them out and cheer each other along. Like a good idea. And yeah, of course, the chats continue in the comments and over on the gram and in Facebook land and wherever you find your Art Witcheriness. So keep chatting and sharing. So inspiring.
Yeah.
I'm loving seeing everyone's spaces. So good.
Yeah. Really appreciate you guys hanging out in the chats with us. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So we're not talking into the void, which is awkward sometimes.
Hey, we're talking to each other. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it.
It makes it, I don't know, nice. It's like there's like a community happening. It's nice.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah. That's what we wanted.
Yay.
Yay. All right, honey, I'm going to end this rodeo.
Okay.
All righty.
So long, farewell, and good night. Do, 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 do.